This is the story of how the Cleveland Cavaliers made one of the boldest trades of the 2026 season and how it's paying off in ways nobody expected. February 5th, 2026 brought a shock that rippled through the basketball world when Cleveland sent Darius Garland, one quarter of their core four, to the LA Clippers for 36-year-old James Harden. 3 games later, the numbers tell a simple story. 3 straight wins, offensive efficiency that leads the entire NBA, and championship expectations that suddenly feel real. What James Harden is doing with the Cavaliers right now might change everything we thought we knew about this team, and the transformation happened faster than anyone predicted. February 4th marked the day the Cavaliers and Clippers agreed to terms. Darius Garland plus a 2026 second-round pick for James Harden, with the public announcement coming 24 hours later. Cleveland just dismantled the core four of Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen that had dominated every regular season metric you could measure. That same core went 64-18 last season, posting the best record in the entire NBA, but the Indiana Pacers eliminated them in the Eastern Conference semifinals. That playoff disappointment hung over the organization like a dark cloud, and when the trade went down, the Cavaliers sat at 30-21 in 5th place in the Eastern Conference. Not terrible by any measure, but nowhere near what you expect from a team that won 64 games the year before. Cleveland needed something different, something that could push them over the hump when the playoffs arrived and the games actually mattered. What happened in Harden's first 3 games as a Cavalier deserves a detailed breakdown, because this is where the story gets genuinely fascinating. February 7th at Sacramento brought Game 1 with 0 practice time, not a single session with his new teammates. Harden stepped onto the court anyway and dropped 23 points with 8 assists, but the fourth quarter told the real story when he scored 17 of those 23 points. Cleveland won 132-126, marking the first time in franchise history that 2 teammates, Harden and Mitchell, each scored 15-plus points in the same fourth quarter. Game 2 came February 10th at Denver, where Harden recorded 22 points, 7 assists, and 10 rebounds for his 13th double-double of the season. The Cavaliers trailed by 11 points in the fourth quarter until Harden hit a game-tying three-pointer that sparked the comeback, and the final score read 119-117 in Cleveland's favor. February 12th brought Harden's home debut against Washington, and this performance revealed his true basketball IQ. 4 shots, that's all he took the entire game, but he dished out 11 assists that created 26 points for his teammates. 6 of those assists went to Sam Merrill, who exploded for a career-high 32 points, while Harden went 1 for 4 from the field, but 10 for 12 from the free throw line. The scoreboard showed 138-113 at the final buzzer, a 25-point demolition. Harden's words after the game captured everything. "Even tonight, I shoot 4 shots, but we win by 25 points. That's the most important thing." One number should absolutely terrify every team in the Eastern Conference right now. In Harden's 3 games, the Cavaliers scored 126.7 points per 100 possessions, and if they maintained that pace over a full season, they'd own the best offensive efficiency in the entire league. They're accomplishing this without any practice time, which sounds impossible, but it's happening anyway. Cleveland added 3 new players in 2 weeks, Harden, Dennis Schroeder, and Keon Ellis, and hasn't had a single practice to integrate them, just film sessions and optional shoot-arounds squeezed between games because of the compact schedule. Donovan Mitchell explained what's happening when they share the court. He's manipulating the game. He's being able to put guys in positions, and then for me, to just be who I am. Attack, get downhill, still create, still play make, but still be myself. Mitchell went deeper when describing Harden's basketball mind. He sees the game at a different level. He's out here creating, making plays, doing different things, and then his gravity, it opens the lane for everybody else. It's continuous. Coach Kenny Atkinson added another dimension to the conversation. He's a good communicator. He's not overbearing either. He's picking his spots. We just had a film session and he picked out 2 things our coaches didn't even see, like little details. It's going to really help young players and our role players. Mitchell summed it up with one sentence that explains why Harden's in Cleveland. He's coaching on the bench and in huddles. That's why he's here. Zooming out reveals what this means for Cleveland's championship chances, and the numbers keep getting better. The Cavaliers are riding a 5-game winning streak right now, They've won 10 of their last 11 games, and since December 29th, their record stands at 17-5 for a .773 winning percentage that leads the entire NBA over that stretch. The betting markets reacted immediately and aggressively. Cleveland's championship odds jumped from 22-1 all the way to 12-1 at DraftKings after the trade went through, leaping over the Boston Celtics, San Antonio Spurs, and Detroit Pistons in the process. They're now tied with the New York Knicks for the third shortest title odds, sitting behind only the Denver Nuggets and Oklahoma City Thunder. And according to DraftKings, the Cavaliers are now favored to represent the Eastern Conference in the finals. Former NBA champion and ESPN analyst Kendrick Perkins didn't hold back. "I believe that the Cavs' ceiling is the finals. Donovan Mitchell is on the clock. The Cleveland Cavaliers have done more for being aggressive for Donovan Mitchell than they did for LeBron James." Perkins continued his assessment. "When you add one of the greatest offensive players of all time in James Harden, one of the best facilitators that we've had over the last 3 years, has done that transition to be that actual point guard and making guys around him better. Absolutely. James Harden elevates the Cleveland Cavaliers." The expectations are crystal clear now. Perkins set the bar when he said, "Minimum, you better get to the conference finals." Harden's home debut on February 12th carried special weight for a reason that went beyond basketball. The Cavaliers faced the Clippers that night, which meant Harden's new team played against his old team, and Cleveland faced Darius Garland, who sat in street clothes on the Clippers bench watching his former teammates. The Cavaliers gave away stick-on beards to fans as a promotional giveaway, and the loudest cheers during pre-game introductions came when they announced Harden's name. Coach Kenny Atkinson felt the energy shift in the building. "Different buzz tonight. I felt it when I walked into the arena. This is a superstar league. It's great for Cleveland. It's great for this market, these fans. They had LeBron over here for a long time. This is another in that category of superstar, which is really cool for everybody." Garland handled the trade with pure class, posting on social media, "I'll never forget the night I was drafted to Cleveland back in 2019 and everything I've gained since. This city taught me more than I could have imagined. Cleveland will always be a second home, and I'll carry these memories with me forever." Mitchell described Garland as "my brother," and that single phrase captured how difficult the decision was for everyone involved. What comes next for Cleveland's future might blow your mind, because Kendrick Perkins appeared on the Road Trippin' Show podcast and dropped a bomb that nobody saw coming. "My sources told me that Donovan Mitchell and James Harden are starting the push to go and recruit LeBron James this offseason." Perkins broke down what he heard. As soon as James Harden got on the phone or got around the team, the initial was, "All right, we about to make this run. We about to go all out. We want LeBron James." LeBron's currently with the Lakers, averaging 21.8 points, 5.6 rebounds, and 6.7 assists per game at age 41, and he's approaching unrestricted free agency after this season ends. The possibility of LeBron returning to Cleveland for a third stint, this time alongside Harden and Mitchell, would create a story that breaks the basketball internet into a million pieces. Pumping the brakes for a moment means acknowledging what everyone's thinking but not saying out loud. James Harden turned 36 years old, currently sits 9th on the NBA's all-time scoring list, and needs less than 1,200 points to reach 30,000 career points. He's an 11-time All-Star and the 2018 MVP with credentials that speak for themselves. But 17 playoff appearances have produced exactly 0 championships, and there's a track record of playoff underperformance in crucial moments that can't be erased or ignored. Kendrick Perkins defended Harden's legacy without hesitation. "James Harden is a top 10 greatest offensive player to ever play the game of basketball. He changed the game. He was Luka Doncic before Luka. He's a top 25 greatest player of all time already. That's with no championship." The contract situation adds uncertainty that nobody can predict. Harden holds a player option next season, so will he commit to Cleveland long-term, or is this just a one-year rental that ends when the playoffs conclude? Chemistry creates another question mark that time will answer. Yes, the Cavaliers stand at 3-0 with Harden on the roster, but they haven't practiced together even once. What happens when opposing teams study the film and make adjustments? What happens in a 7-game playoff series when the pressure reaches its absolute peak and every possession matters? Right now, the Cleveland Cavaliers sit at 32 and 21 in 4th place in the Eastern Conference, averaging 119.7 points per game for 4th in the league. They've won 10 of their last 11 games, and the offensive efficiency with James Harden on the court is reaching historically elite levels. Harden told his new teammates exactly what they could expect from him. Like I told them, I'll figure it out. We'll do some adjusting with each other, but for the most part, I'll play with y'all and do what y'all been doing and I'll find my way. His intentions couldn't be clearer when he said, "At the end of the day, it is a business, and I think both sides got what they wanted, are in a great place, and are very happy. I'm excited about Cleveland. I'm still trying to chase my first championship and do whatever it takes to win. I see an opportunity to win in the East." 17 NBA seasons brought James Harden to this moment, and this might be his last real chance at a championship. For Cleveland, the stakes involve capitalizing on Donovan Mitchell's prime years and not wasting another season after going 64-18 only to fall short when the playoffs arrived. 3 games represents a small sample size that any statistician would dismiss, but 3 dominant wins, the best offensive numbers in the league, and a superstar who's choosing to facilitate instead of force shots. That's not nothing, and the rest of the Eastern Conference knows it. The Cleveland Cavaliers just pushed all their chips to the center of the table. So far, the gamble is working exactly as planned.